Hello everyone. Welcome back to another stream. How you doing, lovely people and non-numerical numbers, non-existent numbers? I gotta come up with a better name for that. Welcome. If I sound a little off today, I am a little bit under the weather, but we're gonna make the most of what we can. Might cut the stream a bit short today, might not. See how I'm feeling later. It is Thursday, so I'll probably do a bit of a shorter stream anyways, but I got less planned at the moment anyways. So, yeah. How we all doing? Aside from being sick, I'm doing all right myself. Just going to be doing a little bit of the sorting and hopefully some experimentation with some future Exoforce plans. I know people have been loving my mechs and stuff so far, but I need some bridges or settings for them to be displayed. I don't like just the robots standing on their own. So one of the sets I got to break down is I got the recent space station set on sale for like 60% off. I almost never find these sales, and I was like, absolutely, I will get this for like whatever it was I paid. It's very cheap. Brand new parts need to be sorted out. I'm really hoping to start introducing a lot of this dark reddish orange into a lot of my upcoming builds. I think it would be an excellent color for Exoforce, kind of a grittier, darker coloration for their favorited orange that they like to use for a lot of the mechs. So I definitely want to start introducing that into mocks. And then there's just other funky pieces that I've yet to use, such as these larger door frames. I know I got the doors for them, but I haven't gotten much of the frames yet. So, nice new colors. And we'll just get started Nolan away, as they say. For those of you that aren't super well versed with the term, nulling is a common Lego phrase for when you're just kind of sorting out the parts before you build a set. Nulling. Yeah. But looks like this set has some good Technic bits and bobs in there. I always am in dire need of more and more Technic. So let's see what this can yield. It also came with this nice kind of a bungee string. Oh, it's stiff. It's stiffer string. Very nice nylon though. Very, very fancy for Lego. But it makes sense since it was like a big tow cable. The reason why this set is already in a mishmash pile is because I let my father build it because he's retired and he gets bored. So let him build a set every once in a while. Since I got this set on clearance and I knew I was just going to part it out anyways, I'm like, yeah, go ahead and build it first. But now that's to my detriment since things are even less sorted than they were in the numbered bags. Oh well, he had fun with it. And now I get to have fun sorting. Ooh, yeah, these are going to be nice ones. These newer, larger cylinders with the cutouts in the middle. Definitely going to be really nice to use. I know I got a bunch in light gray a while back, but they come in black in this set. And I just find these pieces so fascinating. I'm guessing there's forks in this. This station had the feet in the corners that could pivot. So there's a lot of these cylinder pieces and multiples of 4. Which I'm always down for more. Unfortunately, a lot of white parts. I feel like that's already a pretty common piece I have in my own collection. Oh well, I knew the trade-off I was getting into when I bought this set. It's not about should we buy more Lego. It's about what Lego we should buy next. Because we're all hooked, and we're all just going to keep buying more and more. So it just comes down to what are you going to buy next? And I'm going to be part of the irresponsible group and buy stuff that I probably didn't need next. But hey, parts are parts. One day I'll get flooded with tons and tons of useless parts, and then I gotta really push my limits of mock building. That's what it's going to come down to. I really am quite fond of this dark orange. How about anyone else? Anyone else love this dark orange? It's just, or this reddish orange. It's, when I first saw it, I thought it was quite the useless color, but as it was slowly being revealed, it really grew on me. I'm like, it's really nice, and it's, when you have it sitting next to red or you have it sitting next to orange, it does stand out. And I appreciate that, because Lego's made so many colors in the past, and sometimes they've all just kind of blurred together. But to see them add this new one, and while on its own, you might think it's red or orange, and it doesn't quite feel like it was necessary, but once you put it side by side with those colors, you can see the stark difference, and that's where it really shines, is just having that comparison. So I am looking forward to when they finally make more molds in that color. I still feel like we're lacking a bit. It's a bit too early, and they don't want to give us everything in every color just yet. I definitely already have a mock in mind for what I plan to build out of the reddish orange that is available. But I need them to introduce a few more parts before I can do anything. We're still missing some crucial pieces in those colors. Or that color. What am I talking about? There's only one. It's one new color. Neon yellow. Neon yellow can just stay where it's at with little to nothing. I am in no rush for more neon yellow parts. Ooh, those suckers are in there. Like, neon yellow, it's not bad, but it's just so unusable majority of the time. Like, you try putting that in any fantasy setting naturally, it just won't do. Just won't do. So we'll see what they do with the color. See where they go down the line. Ooh, I really am getting down with the sickness, quite literally. All right, should be good for the rest of the stream. Just blew my nose. Blew my nose, and cleared it up just enough that I should be fine for a good while. Back to the Lego sorting it is. And what good sorting it will be. All these fun new parts that I haven't had a chance to interact with. Dark orange, or like I said, reddish orange especially. We'll be experimenting later on to see what we can do with those. But for now, see what other goodies lie beneath the surface. Definitely some newer wedge plates in black that I have not personally collected myself just yet. These newer, what are they? 6x4s that kind of replicate the angle of the 2x2s. This is a nice newer piece that I don't know if I have any yet. It's definitely a fun piece. I don't know if it's necessary because again it is the exact same angle as the 2x2 ones. So we'll see. I'm sure in certain scenarios it'll be great because it'll need less support for each individual piece. But like I said, they can already be built. Getting a little specialized with these parts, just a bit. Hopefully they will keep introducing some funkier parts that'll prove some new angles, some new ideas in the Lego sphere. Parts are parts. Parts are parts. Ooh, I know I've gotten this piece in sets before, but I don't think I have any in my mock building collection. Nothing as of recent. I definitely want more. I really like it. It's nice shaping. Actually, I'll probably leave this one out for a couple mocks I'm currently working on. But I know this has been around at least, I'd like to say it was introduced about 2010, 2011. It's been around for a while. And I want to look up that part code later and pick up some more. I don't really have any of those, so it will be a fun one. It'll be a fun one. Commonly used for like car roofs. I remember the big one I remember seeing it on was they did it for the recycling containers on one of the first recycling trucks. But it's just a nice curved piece. Covers a large distance. Definitely just a nice surface coverage, so you don't have to put too many parts into it. How do we feel about the fact they're pretty much bridging the entire gap between the different size bricks? Because we've always had the 1x, we had the 5x, then we had 2, now we have 3 tall bricks. I know it's not too crazy because they had the panels for the longest time, but it feels awkward. Now we have 1, 2, 3, and 5. I wonder if they're going to do a 4 brick tall brick. Like, it sounds redundant and completely unnecessary, but I feel like at the rate they're going, they could easily just do it. A 4 tall brick does not sound out of the picture for Lego's portfolio. They've certainly been on quite the hot streak of making pieces just because they can, not because they should. But again, I guess the more they make, the more choices we have, the more fun decisions we can make. Options are good. Options are good. But my concern still stands that we get such a variety. Are we going to get equal distribution across the colors? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, Lego will keep doing Lego things. They're corporate. They make their money. And we keep sucking up to buying more. But we're happy with our little plastic bricks. And we're going to keep building away. There's some nice printed pieces in this set too. So that is nice to see. Definitely not a complete waste with all these white parts. Ooh, definitely some nice classic wheels in white that I have not dealt with yet. Oh yes, Keith Orange, Keith Orange. Keith Orange is definitely one of my favorites that LEGO has been producing the last few years. It is a shame that as of recent they've been kind of mucking around with the mold and formula. So it's a bummer that I'm hearing a lot of people getting Keith Orange nowadays, and there'll be two different colors. Demon Lord Dragoon, welcome to the stream. What LEGO set is this? This is the most recent City Space Station. I was fortunate enough to pick it up on clearance, which I almost never find sets on clearance in my area. But I got it for about 60% off. And for that value, I'm like, I am absolutely buying this set just for the parts. It's a bit of a hodgepodge right now because I let someone else build it. And then now I just have the bricks. So I gotta sort through and find all my fun parts. Definitely was a big draw with the city space sets. They introduced a lot more of this reddish orange, which is not a color I oppose to. For all the wild ventures that LEGO does, I think this was a good color choice. A little random, but take it over the neon yellow, that's for sure. Oh, what we got? Demon Lord Dragoon, thank you for the follow. I am just humble little mock builder doing random shenanigan streams at the moment. Hopefully I'll get to a lot more larger scale mock building. But for now I just need some basic things to start off with, such as acquiring more brick. Probably excessively, as we all do. I'm a bit under the weather right now, so if I sound off, that's why. But I'm gonna do my best to keep up the chatter and a little bit of the interest for this stream. You're also a mock builder. Have you been building anything recently of interest that you'd like to talk about? I've been jumping all over the place with a ton planned for October. Little bits here and there to support other creators. And always looking forward to the next season of shows to display at. I go to two main big shows, being Brick Days in the spring and Brick World Chicago in the summer. Now that both of those have passed, I get to work on stockpiling all my mocks for next year and trying to make bigger and better. You've been modifying a Lego Bionicle set of your own. Okay. Interesting. I am a huge fan of Bionicle. I don't build any myself, unfortunately. My collection's not really suited for it, but I always love anything Bionicle. I actually built one for a contest last year that was made entirely out of system parts. So it was really fun rebuilding all the classic molds into larger system style, using each individual piece to define something a little more detailed. So I've definitely been a big Bionicle fan pretty much all my life, and it's been quite a ride to see it come and go, and then come and go again, and now seeing it pretty much thriving through just the mock building community. Got a lot of parts from Ninjago, Cole's Titan, and Elemental mechs, so I've been making some custom limbs. Yes, I had another fella stop by in another stream who was modifying a Rebrickable mock that was the Cole's Elemental mech, the kind of lava-esque one with all the reddish or transparent orange. So it's interesting to see a lot of people like that one. But the Titan mech is the ridiculously big one. That one, I think I picked up. I could build it on stream someday. I don't remember if I bought that one or not. I've also really loved Ninjago since it came out. I used to collect all the minifigures, but after about a decade of collecting every single minifigure, it just became too much, and I just dropped it cold turkey. I haven't really caught up with at least the lore of more recent Ninjago, and I definitely have not been picking up minifigures since. But it's still a great theme. I'm glad it's an in-house theme that's thriving, because we definitely need more of that. Honestly, you got the Titan just for the parts to see what you could build. Yeah, I mean, a mech that big is going to have a lot of great connection points and ball joints and ratcheteds and everything in between, which is a great way to just get started and have parts to build anything else. Because having all those different parts that allow for angles are just a great way to not only add motion, but add a little bit more dynamism. Make it a little bit more posable, make it a little more interesting than just the standard flat bricks, which definitely Lego has been doing a great job branching away. I've loved how much they've experimented with newer techniques. They're growing just like the mock builders, and they're accumulating them for their own builders. But they're definitely expanding upon the different things you can produce out of the bricks rather than just standard bricklaying, stacking, and all that jazz. So far, I've built 2 smaller spaceships and have been able to make some very posable limbs for my Bionicle. Yes. It's definitely helped that Lego has just exploded with some of the variety. Not so much in terms of unique shapes like Bionicle used to do all the time, but now we have things like the mixel joints that have just really improved the choices on how you can make your builds dynamic and posable. I still remember when Lego was starting to do mechs, you just have the kind of pivot legs that would go back and forth. And those really didn't do a whole lot in terms of how a mech looks. But the moment we started seeing things like Galdor joints and finally getting posable limbs was crazy. And then you think of like the last 20, 30 years of Lego's releases and how much customizability there are within posable mechs, and they've really come a long way. So really happy to hear, like you and many others, we've been able to do so much more with the angles and posability. And it's hard to think to ever go back to something which feels so archaic now. I remember I mentioned it on one of the previous streams that I don't remember what mock I was building at this point, but I put a technique in there that was completely outdated. Like, we no longer need to do that because we have better pieces for it now, but I still included it. I'm like, wow, that was such weird muscle memory that I went to an old build technique that had no relevancy today. And it could have been done so much better with modern techniques that I know about, and I just didn't think of it. So it's wild how that evolves. Well, I think it definitely helped that Lego actually shared taking some tips from their community. Yes. They've done that, and I mean, they have been accumulating longtime fans as set builders now, which is great. So it's those longtime fans that are helped bringing in new ideas, fresh blood, and really pushing it. And then they're moving people around in their teams, which has also been helping. So I've heard that at least 1 or 2 people from who are formerly part of Speed Champions were moved into Lego City. And that's why we saw with this past year that Lego City has felt substantially more parts intensive, but more detailed and just more intricate, that makes it much more enjoyable. So it's good to see that Lego 2 is growing in a way, as much as they are also being stagnant in other regards. But at least with design philosophy and the intricacies of the mocks themselves, or the sets themselves, Lego's definitely doing leagues better than they used to. I mean, you look at some of the quality of older sets, and it's like some of that would not fly nowadays. Every time I look back at Exoforce, as much as I build it, as much as I appreciate it, Exoforce sets are, by today's standard, are awful. I love them to death, but they're not great. Their build quality is awful. But that's all progress. That's all the fun of progress. I also think they started to realize how much of an impact with younger kids they're actually having now, especially because of bigger sets they're producing. Well, the bigger sets are also kind of alienating some of the audience. I know plenty of people who really want the Zelda set, but will not shell out the $300 for Zelda. As much as they love the franchise, it's not in the budget. So in that regard, I can see it not be. But definitely with techniques, you're starting off this younger audience with much more advanced techniques than, say, someone like myself grew up with. And so, like, there are plenty of younger builders I can see out there that are going to be way better than me or some of the people I know in just a couple years. They have so much more to work with. However, I can see that being overwhelming too, because we've had years to adjust all these techniques and designs, and now newer audiences are just kind of being thrown into it. But yeah, I know not everyone wants to talk about the topic of costs and whatnot, but it is becoming a bigger deal with walling out certain fans from certain things. That's why it's good to have like a wider spread theme that can provide smaller sets and larger sets. So that way for the diehards that have the money, they can get the bigger sets, but the smaller sets still provide something that's maybe can't afford something bigger, but they still want to get something for said theme. Like One Piece that came out recently. I've always been a diehard fan of One Piece. I will probably get all the sets down the line, but I can't imagine being a One Piece fan and if they had only released, say, the Going Merry and the Baratier, that would have been heartbreaking for anyone that wanted to get something, at least the small scale. You can definitely see how it would be a little bit overstimulating for people like me that have ADHD. It provides a good outlet, especially when they're young. Yes, I've been happy that LEGO has continued to spread that positive mentality of creativity and inspired more people to keep building. And especially they're still powering through the digital era is what I wanted to get to. Digital era has definitely been a tough thing for LEGO to fight around. I remember they were earlier on, they were trying to fight against it with, say, the AR stuff on Hidden Side. They were trying to use that to fight back against digital, and it clearly was not the right way for LEGO to go. So I'm glad LEGO is pretty set on focused to make sure that their products are here to stay and to keep the physical medium going. I think they finally realized that they don't have to be digital to compete with the digital medium. So I'm glad that they provide this as an option. So yeah, it's good that they're still captivating that younger audience. It's just very important that something like LEGO is on their minds, because it does have that creative output that is just not only healthy for you, but just very positive, very motivating, keeps the brain active. That's part of the healthy part, I suppose. But overall, so much additional positivity can come from it. So I really want LEGO to thrive in that regard. And it's a good thing they are keeping an eye on things like that. Obviously, they're a business at the end of the day. They want to make their money, but they also understand the importance and versatility of catering to younger audiences. And that's why they're still so special to a lot of people. So as long as they can keep that up, they'll definitely keep people from being completely mad with them. They definitely have a lot of steady competition that has been coming out. And I think the competition is great for them. Is the stream frozen? It's definitely acting like it. Stutter butter. Uh-oh. Twitch, you want to play nice? Instagram, you want to play nice? Anyone? Sorry for anyone watching if this is coming out weird now. No. Oh. I think whatever's happening fixed itself. It's not frozen for you. Okay. So I'm just freaking out on my side, but I guess everything was running smoothly. Nathan on the Instagram, thank you for joining. And PG joining on Twitch. How have I been doing? I've been doing quite well. For the most part, I am a little on the low side right now, being a bit sick, but I will do what I can to keep up the energy for this stream. It is a Thursday stream, so probably going not as long as the Sunday streams, but we're gonna have fun with it anyways. I am currently sorting parts out from this set that I got steeply on sale. So, a lot of new fun parts. It is the space station from the City Line. So, I'm really happy to get a bunch of this new reddish orange. And I really hope to do a lot of mocks with this color. Oh, your wallet. Your wallet. What is happening to your wallet? You bought a new phone and had to upgrade. Oh no. That's quite an investment right there. That is unfortunate. But I hope you have plenty of new features on there. Or maybe it runs better. Or longer battery life. I do know. It took your wallet with it. Yeah. Those prices can get way up there. I know there are a lot that are not cheap anymore. And there are plenty of products nowadays that just burn your wallet to a crisp. If you don't mind me asking, what was one of the most enjoyable mocks that you've made? To this day, I still believe that my favorite mock that I've built is the Tinker Tub from Shantae. I was really happy with how accurate I was able to create that. And all of the crazy shapes. Hopefully one day I will post the instructions for it, because I've had them done for probably 2 years now. I just haven't bothered to post it or do anything related to the game releases. And now there's a new game coming out in I think a couple weeks, which would have been the perfect timing, but I had an animator working on an animation for it, and I know he didn't finish, so I'd rather wait till he's done with his animation to do kind of cross promotion with it and really promote the mock. Nah, the version iPhone 8 Plus was getting too old, so upgrade to 12. Yeah. That sounds like a good upgrade. That's a few generations different, but you have to work more on mock, but timing. Yeah. But yeah, the Shantae Tinker Tub was super fun, very expressive. I made sure to add plenty of play features in it. It's able to change back and forth between its first appearance, which is the boat with legs, and back into its second appearance, which is just the boat by itself. Weird how it's a little backwards there. You have time. Oh wait, you have to work more on a mock, but timing. I can't get parts due to the phone upgrade. Oh no, yeah. So you lost your budget to the phone, the dirty phone. It took your parts away from you. I hope you have everything at least wish listed or well planned for your whatever your next order might be. I know myself, I like hold off on orders for months on end, just slowly letting it accumulate larger and larger. And then I take a huge hit down the line. But then it comes in as one larger order and I can save on a bunch of different individual shipping prices and just get it in one big go. Now I do everything on the spot for sets. Oh, okay. All right. Getting it just kind of as you go along. You throw it on in. I see. Oh, this is definitely a new curve that I have not gotten myself, which is why I love buying sets for parts every once in a while. Definitely, yeah. Grab cheap sets and use. That's what I prefer to do, or at least to get some new experimental parts. But I so rarely find sets on sale myself. I got super lucky that I found this set. It was down to, I think it was down to $55 from what was originally $140. So this was a super deal. The Robot 3-in-1, yes, yep. That one looked like it had a lot of fun parts in it. It's the one with the balloon robot, right? Either one I'm thinking of. The Robot 3-in-1s have had some fun mechanical parts, and like I talked about earlier, the hinges and joints to just make everything a little bit more dynamic. But this set has a new part, at least for me. I don't have any of these yet, and this should be fun. It's a nice larger curve. Looks to span 2 2/3. So I cannot wait, or I hope to find a good use for it. But I think the set only comes with maybe 2, maybe 4. So a little limited on the quantity. But it's always nice to see a new part. The amount of mixel joints in the robot, yeah. I'm happy to see that, at least for a little while now, the 1x2 plate with the mixel joint on the side, on the long side, that one, both the socket and the ball joint have been on pick-a-brick walls. So that's been nice to see. Not the most useful. I'd say they're probably some of the worst ones, but they're still useful on their own and having a mass amount. So I'm happy to see those are on pick-a-brick walls. Have been for a couple years now. Maybe down the line we'll start seeing more, but it's definitely good if you like doing mechs and stuff to just hoard an absurd amount of mixel joints and a variety. I have been meaning to, I have been slowly accumulating some of the weirder ones here and there. At least weirder and less common for me. Because a lot of the 1x2 plate variants in different shape sizes or positions of the ball joints, those are all feeling pretty common, but there's definitely some of the ones like the hitches that feel a lot less common, and I've personally enjoyed acquiring to hopefully make some interesting details while adding the ball joints. You can't say nothing. You bought 120 pairs in one go. Now, were those the ones where the balls and the sockets are on the fat end or the short end? Because I think the short end is more useful. It's a lot more versatile. You can fit it into a space a lot better. But in terms of just sheer quantity, the fat-ended ones are just so common that they're easier to accumulate. The middle bottom. Middle bottom. Not sure I'm following on that one. Middle bottom. But yeah, I'll come back with the some of the ones I've been talking about in just a second here. Now I'm over here. There's definitely a good variety, but I still think the sockets are lacking in variety. So I definitely think these have been around for a while, but I still think these funky ones are really fun to pick up every once in a while. The kind of toe ball joint with the extra metal greebling or structural greebling. I really like that one. And then it looks like this set has one of the older sockets, which are very loose, but can still be fun. Actually, now that I see that it has this older socket, I wonder if it has the support one I just brought over. Or maybe it's just used for the hook. I do like picking up more of these hooks too, because they work. Let's see if I can get it. Let's do this. I do like picking up these hooks more too, because their ball joint fits right in with the mixels, and then you have an awkward or a fun stud reversal and a stud holder with that hook itself. So the hooks have been another fun, funky one to add to the mixel collection. But it is good to diversify what joints you have and what techniques you use. Because like we talked about before, you were building that one mech and the ratcheted joints did you much better. But a mixel joint can also only hold so much weight until it starts drooping too much. I really like these. They're a little specialized, but I really like them. I know they've been used in like the Sand Speeder and some A-Wings. I was really lucky, and one day I went into the in-store Pick-a-Brick, and they had them in black on the Pick-a-Brick wall. Not a lot, and not fully intentionally. Apparently, if a set comes back in too badly damaged, they will just break open the box and throw the pieces into Pick-a-Brick, which was news to me. So it was some Speed Champion set. They had thrown the parts into it, and I just tried to find every Speed Champions part I could, because that's like a $30 set that you could fit into half a Pick-a-Brick cup at that time. So I was like, absolutely. What a weird steal that I didn't know existed. I'm not sure how commonly that happens, but I was just there at the right day, the right time. That's why you double layer them. Yes. I want to use it in practice at some point, but I've seen an excellent technique of not just double layering the mixel joints, but using the ones with the bar connection and allowing them to slide in and out of snot bricks. And then that will allow you to do, allows you to do the double connection, but the double connection usually limits you in one direction, kind of hinging. But if you do the bars in the snot bricks, it allows you to do the hinging and then the pivoting, because one will slide deeper and one will slide out as you move them. So that's been a really cool one that I want to implement at some point into some build, but I just haven't done it yet. I haven't had a build that really needs it. Chain them together for strength, but there are better ways. Yeah. Yep. there's some good options out there. Now that I've mentioned the one with the sliding kind of pistons with the bar connections, I'm very interested in maybe doing something where there's 3 or 4 of them, really adding to the strength and really adding a cool design to it. Let you get the red creature. Make it red. Make it red. But yeah, there's so much you can do with the Mixel joints. I'm so happy as a system introduced. I honestly really want Mixels. I want Mixels to last longer because they were just such fun part packs. It's like they were given the same budget that any other team was. So they got to make all these funky new molds or new colors of molds. And they would always be in cheap sets. That was like the coolest part of Mixels. It's like how themes like video or dimensions, people just wanted the minifigures. Well, people just wanted Mixels for the funky parts. So it's a shame that they discontinued those. But I guess the buying power of the mock community buying sets is a lot weaker than the standardized market for who's actually just buying the sets to build the sets or for kids. But hey, now there's plenty of fun, funky mocks, molds, minifigures, just because of these weird one-off themes that don't quite last. Although Mixels got to run for a long time. A good couple of years. Which is more than you can say about some themes. Truly unfortunate. Hidden Side had a lot going for it. And I think it only lasted 2 years. For 2 major waves. So. Yeah. I'm glad Lego's at least a bit out of their funk of what felt like, on average, a in-house theme would only last 3 years. I mean, they are and they aren't out of that funk. There's a lot of themes right now. It sounds like Monkey Kid and Dreams are both gone already. But Ninjago definitely broke the cycle, along with Friends, as just kind of staple themes. You got your red creature from the closet. I'm sure you'll share that with me soon. I'm always up for some more mock viewing. But yeah, I just really want Lego to go back to doing more in-house themes. I get it. The licensed themes sell so well. But I just miss the genuine creativity behind all Lego's things. Just the constant influx of original ideas, original stories. It all just kind of boils down to Ninjago carrying that weight. And just kind of hoping they release more cool stories. You got a red creature from the closet. He's old though, but he uses the hinges. Yeah. Okay. I'll have to see it. I'll need to see it. Red creature makes me think red animal from the Muppets, since he is red. I don't know, you made me think that, but I'm most certain that your creature is not animal. But I can hope that your creature can be posed and play the drums. because that sounds fun. Whether it be within its claws or with its tail. I'd be excited to see if you compose it and make it play the drums. I'm out here judging Lego on the more creative stuff, and I feel like I've been lacking myself. I'm just trying to push the blame on them because I haven't done enough myself right now. Like, I'm building all these Exoforce revamps and occasional IP crossovers that Lego I know will never do. So maybe I need to push more of the pressure on myself to make less IP and more original things. I am part of the problem, and I'm going to continue to contribute to it. I'm also part of the problem for Lego creating all these IP-based sets, because I almost never buy sets anymore, and the rare occasion I do, it's probably Star Wars or some other similar franchise. I am contributing to Lego making these decisions and hurting creativity as a whole. Though I think really carrying the weight right now is the Creator 3-in-1. It has blown my mind how well it has been doing. And some of the best sets in recent years feel like they've been coming from the 3-in-1s, of all things. But they just get overshadowed by the mass amount of other releases that so many people, including myself, forget how good some of the 3-in-1s have been. Like, I don't care about most of them, but I cannot disagree that they look stunning sometimes. Like, all the animal ones that have been coming out from Alex Newman, those are stellar. And they're definitely doing some really cool references to other themes, such as the Monster Fighter Haunted House that we're getting soon, or it might already be out. But just to pay homage to some of the older themes because people want them so much is nice to see. So I think we could definitely do with some more support to the Creator 3-in-1s. Maybe that's what I need to buy more of for parts. Plus, I've even seen that the 3-in-1s have gotten better at the B and C models. Because it used to be that the B models would feel significantly weaker, and then the C models would be almost nothing. It'd feel like it was a waste of time to even bother with the C model. But in recent years, they've made some of the B and C models almost as impactful as the A model. So that is incredible. Like, I feel like I've heard more people say in recent years that they like the BRC model better than the one on the main box art. So that carries on to show that they are really doing something special with the most recent 3-in-1s. And hopefully they'll carry that on forward. I'm never sure how quickly they're cycling through LEGO designers. I know there were quite a few times in the past where a designer would come in, they would only do a few sets and then they would immediately leave. There's one that comes to mind from Bionicle. He created 2 of the underwater designs and then didn't work for LEGO anymore, which is insane because like the couple that he made looked fantastic and then he just didn't work at LEGO anymore. Even things like a lot of people are big fans of Tiago, and Tiago always refers to himself being a set designer, but he designed either a dozen or less. He didn't really make a whole lot. So some of this turnaround for set designers isn't very long. So it makes me really wonder how many of these current ones really last. You sent your old mock photo. I'll take a quick peek right now. Hopefully it won't crash the Instagram side of the stream. I know it had a problem last time, but I have no idea what caused that problem. Oh, I like that with the white. I think the white is a funky, nice design that makes me think like the bones are on the outside. But also it's kind of got that color scheme of Power Rangers and kind of the robot vibe to that. I see you can transform it between bipedal and quadruped. That's fun. It's got the big guns. Gotta have big guns on a mech. Especially uses the double hinge connection. Let me see where those are. Let's see. Oh, yes. I'm seeing the hinges now. Yeah, they're kind of stacked on top of each other. Yep, that is a great way to still allow for posability, but also add quite a bit of strength, especially when dealing with mixel joints, something smaller. You getting me to look over at the other screen also allowed me to see out the corner of my eye that some new Build-A-Minifig just got announced. There's a cute little witch. It's a great way to get that hair hot combo again, but now with orange as the main hair combo. Also a new skirt piece looks great with the bat printing. There's a new ghost. For the most part, the ghost is okay. I guess the hood in white would be interesting. And I do like seeing more minifig heads of standard faces in different colors, so getting it in regular white is nice. Also, the splat print with the ghost on it is pretty funny. And then you got a yellow minifigure in white mummy wrapping, which shows a lot more skin than they normally do. I like that. I feel like that'd be really useful for some custom stuff. So I definitely need to get to build a minifig for a bunch of mummies. Oh, and a black cat. I don't know if we've gotten just the recent cat mold in black. So I'm glad you pulled me over to the web browser so I can check those out. But yeah, getting back to your mock. Sorry for the little derailment. But yeah, you just had it in your closet, sitting around waiting. But I like that the head looks very menacing, and then I see that you have it so it transforms into kind of a bird companion. I think that's really funky. But then he also is just missing a head. But I guess that adds to the creature design. Oh, I guess the head folds from below. Or you have an attachment point for it. I see. With that swivel plate. Yeah. But yeah, definitely gives me the vibes and color scheme of Power Rangers. They're kind of white and color diamonds. The bird was first. Okay. And then you built a big creature so it could perch upon itself. Give him a big homie. Really gives me thoughts and ideas and vibes of the kind of species coherency, what is it? Where two species kind of get along, like how big fish or little fish will clean big fish teeth, and how little birds will hang out on rhinos to not only for protection but for, I don't know if they clean the rhinos, but just the kind of dual species. Because the semi-zoid heads, yes. Yeah, the zoid heads, and how they can kind of fold in. But definitely has that kind of panther animalistic vibe to it. Bring back some good memories on that. Reminds me that I'm both hopeful and scared if the rumors are true about a Power Rangers set coming down the line. Because I was a big Power Rangers fan growing up. I don't know if I'll be completely sold on a set coming out. It would probably come down to, are there minifigures for me to be glued on? Or are there going to be no minifigures, kind of like the other big robot we got. I feel bad at them for getting the franchise. Oh no. Oh no. Zoid's New Century was fun to watch. I have not watched that. Or I never did. But I'm sure if it's like any other Super Sentai or large mecha show, then it's just always entertaining. Technically, Voltron had a build by someone for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Oh, okay. So that helped me with a couple things. Voltron, sorry. Voltron was the name I couldn't think of earlier. But yeah, the Voltron set didn't come with minifigures, so that's one extra thing that didn't appeal to me. From at least a mock builder's perspective. Because as a mock builder, you can always just make whatever the heck you want. But when it comes to figures, we're kind of at the whim of whatever LEGO releases. And at least for me, I don't like buying the custom minifigures. But that is cool to hear that someone, of course, they made a Rubricable or some other alternative build for Voltron to turn into the Mighty Morphing Power Rangers Grand Robot. I'm blanking on that one's name too. The Megazord. I'm not surprised that someone made that. It just feels so right. You get all the right colors for it. And then you get all the larger hinges and controls. All the right mech pieces that you need. Just in one go. It just seems like such an easy conversion. Obviously, they probably put some good effort into the redesign, but like there's just so much that's set up for you when it comes to making a mock, especially a alternate build for a set. It's like turning a boat into another boat. Shouldn't be too crazy. The white Tigerzoid was possible with leftover parts. Oh, that's even cooler. That's even cooler. It just kind of lends itself to that. Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever do a combiner mech in that style, whether it be based on a show, movie, etc., or if it'd be my own. I thought about doing something silly like a Exoforce mech that could enter a bigger mech. Yeah, Ultra Combo mech was a... I think I picked that one up. It's sitting in storage as well. Ultra Combiner mech definitely sounded like a great one for Ninjago. So I did still pick up a set here and there for that theme. And Ultra Combiner mech, I heard a lot of great things. Oh, you got it cheap too. Well, I'm jealous, but I'm also partly to blame myself. I don't find many deals because I also just don't go to the stores very often. At least not physical stores. But it also feels like such a pain to try to hunt for all these sales and deals in the LEGO sphere. You got it cheap because it was thrown in a bulk table. Found the legs in a bulk. Oh. Even better. Even better. When you can find something crazy like that. Yeah, there's definitely some hidden gems you can find at things like Bricks and Minifigs that just have a bunch of parts that were thrown together or not fully disassembled in their bulk tables that you can just kind of peruse and eventually find like, oh, it's this piece from this set, so I wonder if they have more. And then you can do the digging and find the rest. They had the red body, the jet, and the drill in the back room. Oh. Oh, they didn't have it all splayed out together. So did you have to ask for the rest of the parts to get it put back together? Because that's a bit funny. That you found one chunk and then they're like, oh, hey, do you have the rest of this incredibly cool set? Just thrown together in a mosh pit. Because that's always one of the best discoveries when browsing through those bulk tables. Like I said, you find one small piece from a big set and it's like, I wonder if they have the rest in here. Sometimes you get lucky and they do. And then sometimes you get disappointed for searching for like an hour and they're like, oh, I guess they don't. It's just one piece from a really cool set that somehow got separated from all the rest of the things. Makes you wonder where it's been, where it's come from. All these weird collections that merge and dissipate into other collections. Wasn't completed, but you found it. Parts in the bulk table to finish it. And that's always satisfying too, yeah. If you know what you're looking for in the bulk tables, And then by the end, you have a nearly completed set. They just let you take it cheap, yeah, because by the rules, you found it in the bulk table, so it's just bulk table parts. $20 for the ones in the back, yeah. That's good, that's good. Oh, the entire Mac, oh, even better. Yeah, you didn't have to fuss about it or anything. That's cool. They weren't ready to make a big deal out of it and fight you for it. You found a treasure, and they weren't gonna hold you back. So they're just like, let them take it. Let them take it. And that's some of the things we get really happy, the little treasures we find along the way in this wildly large collectathon / hobby of ours. Just, there's so much of it now. Who knows when you're going to find that gem around the corner. I have a fella that I know locally that might be selling me some sealed Star Wars sets that he's had for a decade. So he hasn't shown me what they are yet, but if I get any, I will definitely show it off. And then I'll have the hard decision of, do I want to hold on to these to resell, or do I just want to build them on stream and use them for mocks? Because there's a lot of fun parts that haven't been around for a while from the Star Wars sets. You're a regular there. It's a local Lego store. Technically a local store that sells Lego. Yeah. I don't worry, I got that much. Lego doesn't do bulk tables themselves. But it's not a bricks and minifigs, huh? I guess there's another one locally near me that I don't go to that also does that. Or they do their own version of Pick-a-Brick, but it's all the same thing as brick and minifigs and other stores, where it's just whatever bricks that came in loose, they throw into a bunch of big drawers on a wall, and then you can pick and choose to a certain amount. They treat it just like Pick-a-Brick, but it's a big hodgepodge of used bricks. Oh, I got more full drawers, which is pushing me to get closer and closer to doing full drawer mock building on stream. Just whatever drawer is full, that's what we're building today. Now it's the round white plates. There's no more room. To brick heads. They throw a bunch of they just throw sets that are loose and not worth much in the bulk table. Yeah, that's when it makes sense, because you're just saving yourself some time, and the parts are probably going to sell better than the sets themselves. There's definitely been a set or two that I have looked up on Bricklink when trying to research a certain part, and I find that the set itself, say it's like 15 years old, and for some reason it's still selling like it just came out, like it's still retail value, awkwardly. But then I look at the parts themselves, if I need to buy it a la carte, and I see that it's really expensive for just one piece alone. I'm like, oh, weird. It's just cheaper to buy the set, though. Kind of like, I saw an Exoforce poly bag that a fellow's selling for pretty much retail value. And it's like, oh, I'm pretty sure the minifigure alone would be that much, but all right, I'll get the parts too. Why not? strange things like that. The values just differ. And if you pay attention to it, you can get the benefit from it, which is nice. Pays to do a little research. But even a partial Jabba the Hutt was found. Ooh. See, that's an interesting one because it's such a big awkward mold that only comes in bigger sets. Like, no matter which Jabba you're looking at, the Jabba figure has always been in expensive sets across the board. So even just finding a partial is really cool because I'm certain there are plenty of Bricklink sellers that are out there that somehow only have one part or another. So there's that. And then there's, I've also seen plenty of mock builders use just certain parts of Jabba or any animal, creature, etc. that usually is a bunch of molds. You can use just a couple and make something cool out of it. I really like there's the micro castle that is set upon an upside down Jabba base. And it's just the lower half of Jabba, but upside down it looks like micro scale rockwork. That's probably one of my favorite uses of it. I asked them for Ninjago mechs, so I get first dib if they do, and they can look in the back room. That's how you got the Zane Titan mech. Ah, so you're in cahoots with the your local Lego store, local store that sells Lego. We'll make sure we make that clear for anyone watching this back. That's good. Yeah, it's good to have a local connection to a store like that. But yeah, you have the ins and outs where you've told them what you want and they'll hold it off to the side for you, and they'll do it anyways because it's a guaranteed sell with you. They want that business, so they're helping you, but you're helping them. It's a team effort. It's symbiotic. Symbiotic may have been the word I was looking for earlier with the animals. Whatever. But yeah, it's a great benefit for you. It's a good benefit for them. And everyone's happy. So you love to see it. I myself do not have any connections like that. Like I said, we have a Bricks and Minifigs that opened up recently, about a year ago in my location. Before that, we had a hobby store that sells Lego. That's the one I mentioned that has the faux pas pick-a-brick wall. So they do something very similar. So now they're in competition with Bricks and Minifigs. However, my lug has never been very happy with the manager of that hobby store. And sometimes their Lego is kind of overpriced. But we have those two. And then also the same year that our Bricks and Minifigs opened up, just about, I think it was 2 months later, we got our first Lego store ever within a reasonable distance. So then now there's all that competition, which is just funny to me. I don't go to any of the three, like not even the Lego store. I think I've been there once, which was grand opening, so I could display there. And I've had no real reason to go back. But it's funny, yeah, all three of those now are just in competition in such a small area. And not too long ago, we had none of it. So just exploded out of nowhere. But people are happy to have the options. They get to go to all different stores. You got Aaron and Lloyd's team up mech that way. You still very enjoy that mech, even if it has issues. You need to find Jay's Titan mech to do Rubricable build with Zane. Ah, okay. So you're keeping an eye on those Rubricables. I feel like I've been wanting to for a while. I want to do Rubricable designs that are based on sets, because those are the easiest for others to enjoy. But so far, all my Rubricable designs have just been pure mocks. I've been meaning to, but I have not started with the Lego set stuff, which again, would be very easy for people such as you. Just nice, easy, you get the set, you got all the parts, go to town with the custom build. Funny part, no one to fight in that side of town. Only Lego store and a bunch of thrift stores. Oh, for you, yeah, if you have no other competition. Yeah, if it's the only local Lego store, that's all you got. It's the place to go. I mean, but like I said, I have 3 options now. I don't go to any. I just find better deals on Bricklink. And quite often the Pick-a-Brick service online. But yeah, having a local option is very nice. The closest Lego store before one opened up here was, I think, good 4 or 5 hours away. So yeah, local enough that you can just bike there. Yeah, that is pleasant. That is pleasant. But yeah, my closest official Lego store, it was 4 or 5 hours away, and now the new one that is local is still about 30-40 minutes away. So it's local-ish, but only to a degree. And I've tried going other times, but I've called before I've gone, and I've checked to see if they had things I was looking for, and they never did. People would scalp the bricks there to build the minifigs, and the Pick-a-Brick does not stock super well in our region. Oh, so you can get there in 5 minutes, so you can be lost in Narnia for 3 hours. I mean, it's a great way to spend an afternoon, just browsing through the bricks, finding the things, just the things you need. Getting your choice to pick your parts. Can't go wrong with that. Probably walk out with a set too, yep. You go there, you get hooked, you come out with more than you expected. See, that's what I'm saying about Legos. They have us right where they want us. We're gonna keep buying Lego no matter what. We are glued to the brand. We are all their loyal little buyers. No matter which side of the hobby you're on, sets, collecting, mocks, whatever else you might do in Lego. They got our money. Although it probably feels a little better to buy from these third-party stores, the resellers, the local mom and pop stores that sell Lego, that are selling it used, because then you're not giving money directly to Lego on the corporation side. But doesn't hurt either way. You want to spend it, whether you want to support the big business side or not. Yeah, and I got mixed feelings on the business side of Lego. Probably walk out with a set, or probably the minifig wall. They robbed me in the first week. Nexo Knights power tiles. Oh no. Oh no. Were you collecting all those? There were definitely a lot that caught my attention, and I was picking up a handful of those randomized packs for Nexo Knights. And then I realized there's so few that I actually wanted, I had to stop picking up all the tiles. You have a mini tin full of Nexo Knights power tiles. But then what do you do with them? What do you do with all the power tiles? If you have the big hexagon shields, I'll take all those off your hands. I love that piece. I am so sad it only lived for that short-lived theme. I really want that hexagon plate. I got what I could, but I think I only ended up with 7, and I used up 6 of them already. But they had it just there, and you couldn't resist. You even got the shields. Oh, like the kind of metal colored shields that would surround the tiles. Those are cool too. I don't think I've gotten any of those. I actually just saw a mock today that popped up in my feed. A fella said it was an older mock of theirs from like 2018. Anyways, it was a spaceship, and it used a couple dozen of those metal shield pieces as like kind of a grill across the side of the spaceship. And he just had so many of them. I was kind of like, oh, that was a piece I'm sad I missed out on. I didn't have to get any of those. The Nexo Knights power tiles make for good designs. You're sweating over there. You're sweating over there. There's a couple that are really good, but I don't know. It's hard to come up with a great use for the exploding chicken. There's definitely questionable designs in there that I wouldn't say are the most useful. I mean, the exploding chicken doesn't sound terrible. I think there's some good uses for it, but I faintly remembered some weird ones that just, what do you even do with those? What do you even do? Especially for faces. Oh yeah. Yep. Oh, the tile itself is really nice. Yes. Yep, I do like the pentagon tile, but all the weird prints they were coming up with for the collection during Nexo Knights Prime, there's just so many that feel like misses for their weird art choices. I might actually have mine nearby. Let me see. My small stash. Yeah, I do. My small stash of Nexo Knights tiles. I mean, yeah, they're so cool. I think actually what's most awkward about them is the neon glow on the outside, because it was a mix of sci-fi and fantasy. I could see it maybe used for like stained glass, but Like there's so much of this one I like, but I would want it to be like from a Bulls mock, and it's not the right color scheme for it. It needs to have that yellow, reds, and blacks for the late 90s, the Bull theme, or the Bull faction, or the villains. I don't know. But yeah, I could see something like a music tile. Where am I? Where am I? I'm way off. There we go. This is a music tile print. That one's not too bad. That one could be in a music shop or something. I don't know. I feel like there's some weird ones though that just don't work. Maybe I'm just not thinking wildly enough. But like, what do you do with 5 axes spinning around? That feels a little awkward to me. But you gotta find where you placed your shield parts for me. Oh, yeah. I'm talking about the. I don't think I have any on hand right now. I do have one. This piece. I love this piece to death, but I just cannot find them enough. Like, they're just never at the Bricklink sellers I'm buying from. It makes me happy, though. It's got some fun math to it. You have a few. Yeah. But they feel very sparse, but I understand why. They only came in the Nexo Knights mech sets. Like little $10 packs with the 1 minifigure each. They're just buried for you? Yeah. But I love the design of that piece so much that I try to buy it whenever I can. But it never feels like anyone I'm buying from actually sells it. I'm not buying from enough funky stores, I suppose, from Bricklink. I'm buying all the safe bets, all the cheap German stuff. It's mostly modern pieces. Like the dragon tile, can do factions. Yeah, there's definitely some stylization, enough stylization in them that you can do. Yeah, you can do factions and stuff. That's what I was saying. Is like the bull one is so close, but it doesn't. The white just kills it for what it could be. Like, I suppose you can make your own custom factions, but then you're limited to those tile pieces in particular. The gold ones are great. I don't know if I've seen the gold ones. I don't remember there being gold ones. I thought they were all transparent. Unless you're talking about the unprinted ones. Because then, yeah, the unprinted gold, I think they're drum lacquered. They're the shinier gold. Those ones from like the Infinity Gauntlet, those look great. Those look fantastic. But if there were gold ones in Nexo Knights, I don't remember that. Nope. Nope to something I said. Nope. But Nexo Knights definitely introduced a pretty fancy piece for us to use for years and years to come. Like the one on Castle. For banners and such, I can see that. At least the graphic design on them were pretty good. I won't disagree with that. They had some funny things going on. But some of it just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being crotchety old man that's thinking, oh, they're so weird and bizarre. Where's my basic art design for Lego? The mace, the axe, and the sword. Yeah, see, there's some good generic ones. I don't know. I think it's mostly comes down to the neon and transparent glow to them on the outside. That just doesn't quite fit the vibe that most of those have, because most of them are kind of medieval. I definitely need to play around with them, because now that I think about it, I'd love to use the back sides as just a single color. That could be fun to use. Kind of use a clip to hold the tile in place, so it could be used on the non-studded or non-tube side, since there's no connection on the flat side. I could see the back sides being a fun texture to play with. You know what? I might pull those out to play around with. I slightly more shiny than the injected gold. Yeah, that's probably the drum lacquered then. Here, I'm just gonna leave this drawer out. Because I want to, now that you've brought them up, I want to experiment with those Nexo-Knight shields again. I've had them sitting around for too long doing nothing. So thank you for that. Ideas are flowing. You have 3 of the gold ones. Okay. You very much piqued my interest on that. I must know, are they printed, or are they just gold? Because if they're just gold, then I might be able to find them on the Bricklink log for them. But if they are printed, then it's just so difficult to find individual variants of a piece. They are printed. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be a mess. I'm sure they're just somewhere under the Nexo-Knights selection, but they would be so much easier to find if they were unprinted. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. In front of the Disney castle. That would make more sense. It's starting to come back to me. I faintly remember that when it was like first revealed. And then I completely forgot. Because that set had a lot of good prints in it. It had they printed wall panels too, which were so deluxe. And this has all been making me think. Lego has so many problems nowadays, being stingy on printed elements and constantly using the excuse that they don't have enough room in storage to make a new SKU for every last printed element. But then you think back to Nexo-Knights, and they did all those printed shields. And they just kept pumping out all these different variants. Each one of those had to have been a different SKU. And they had no problem then. What happened in the last 10 years that all of a sudden they had all that room for Nexo-Knight shields, and now they have no room for, say, a dozen prints on one set. Interesting. Interesting. Nexo Knights was an age. It was a time. I was not a big fan of Nexo Knights, but I was a big fan of Nexo Knights parts. Like, we've already been talking about the shields a good bit. But I think one of the best parts of Nexo Knights is that it was the last hurrah for Neon Orange. And I greatly miss Neon Orange. There was no valid excuse to axe that color. It was still doing quite well on its own. And it hurts even more when they did the Space CMF. And certain figures just couldn't use Neon Orange because they killed it off. Like, I know they weren't forward planning with that. And they didn't know they were going to do a Space CMF at some point. But, like, they killed it off just a little too early. They couldn't do that. So now I'm out here scavenging any Neon Orange I can find as I come across it. Oh, funny part about Nexo Knights short figs. Were there multiple? Well, I guess you had some of the villains. But I just remember the one boy. There was that short fig. Other than that, I can't think of many. They can connect sideways of a Kai Elemental Fire Mech. And do have good middle connection there. Yeah, if you're talking about what are they, the little, like, gremlin guys? Little, like, I don't know, there were the demon ones and there were, like, the stone ones. They had some fun little pieces to them. Different connection points, which made them pretty silly to work with. I also can't remember if that's where we got the chunkier arm connection that has the peg hole or Technic pin peg to connect the arm. I feel like that's where that was introduced. Those little guys. The bulky armor and the 2x2 peg back connection. 2x2 back connection, huh? For a peg? On the short fins. Yeah, so those must have been the little grunty dudes. That would sometimes have, like, the horns and stuff. Oh, sorry, you're talking about the Nexo Knights, like, shoulder pads and armor. You said short figs earlier, and I was still on that, thinking of those. Oh, on short figs. Nah, I'd have to look at Nexo Knights again to see what you're talking about. Now my brain's scattered, trying to think of all the things at once. Because there was a lot going on for Nexo Knights, which is why I'm so sad that, again, another in-house theme that just went away too quickly. Too quickly. All right, I think I see you in the background, poking me with some more images. Let's see. Oh, the robots. I don't know why I don't know why I wasn't thinking of the robot. No, it's not the robots. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. Okay. When you add that connection to a short fig, it gets a little silly. It gets a little silly. I feel like we need more posts like that. That's... It's so well defined. You got him that way, huh? That's... I'm not even, like, there's no... I'm not going to retroactively show this to stream or anything. This is our little funny gag to talk about. People out there will just have to discover this on their own. But, like... I keep looking at it, and it's just so perfectly defined. Like, there's Lego didn't think that one through. The short minifigure legs, normal torso, next to knight armor with the extra connection studs on the back. That's... I gotta find that armor piece now. I don't have that one. Or maybe I do, and I need to double check that next night store. No, because none of the ones that came with the mechs had the armor pieces, the big shoulder pads. So I'm gonna need to wish list that armor piece. I think that's from the whatever wave they had with like the tech villains, the like cyber villains. Because he had like the magma ones to start with. And I think the stone were the second ones, and then it ended with the cyber ones. And I think that's from the cyber ones. But that combo is gold. I never knew that. I didn't know they had stud connections that low. That's wild to me. That like it goes below the torso. You just opened my eyes up to a new piece that I didn't know much about. Because you don't do it to build a core if you just fit a minifig sideways. You don't build a core if you just fit a minifig sideways. Yeah, I'm not sure about that writing. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're going for there. But the minifig image, it's just so shocking to me. It's just so perfect. You're gonna make me add that piece to my Bricklink wish list, and someday I'm gonna spend extra money just for the joke. That's silly. It's like some folks in my lug say, we're not here to help you with your addiction, we're here to enable you. So we're going to enable each other to spend more money on the brick and buy more silly pieces, molds, sets, etc. If you stand him on top of a connection, on connection to make... I wonder if slow mode's cutting you off. I'm not sure what's going on with the dialogue there. But I can also go back and I can see the gold tiles you were talking about. Oh, they were Nexonites. Okay. Interesting. I don't know if that's the print, but they kind of look like stickers, but I think that's just the way they're printed on there. Huh. No, that's definitely the print, because even the standard ones had some off-putting colors. But those gold ones look real nice. Real nice. Hard to explain. That's all right. Oh, okay, I see. You're using the armor piece in there, sideways. So you have the short guy in there, and it gives you all those extra stud connections on top. Interesting, interesting. The minifig just lets it happen. I'll say that looks like it looks like the math works out. Like your studs just reach that tile there. Which I believe the mini legs are the same height as a brick. So you can always substitute that if you want your mini legs back. But after this stream, I definitely need to bookmark that piece. That is, I can't get over how silly Lego was in that design. I mean, it makes sense. They wanted 2 studs to connect probably wings or other machinery to the figs. But it is just truly unfortunate where it leaves those bottom studs. Funny how some parts let it happen and the age. Yeah. It's all the system. Sometimes the math just works out. But then you get plenty of pieces that really don't. And those become some of the most interesting ones to work with. But yeah, I mean, that math makes sense to me because you have a starting point at the top of the neck, or the top of the torso, right where the neck begins, and then those studs will reach down across the bricks. And I don't remember what the exact height of the torso and everything is, but eventually all the plates will line up anyways. So it makes some sense to me. It's just something that definitely probably worked out better because you experimented with it rather than trying to do the math. Just going with the flow usually works a lot better for a lot of things. Unless you're getting to like some really intensive angles and trying to really maximize strength. Only works before the front part. Yeah, you only got really the one connection there, being the feet of the minifigure. So once you get beyond that, it will be difficult locking everything in together. But happy to see that you just kind of stumbled upon that. Yeah, you can definitely lock it from the top once you get the backpack studs in position. Let's see. Oh, okay, we hit the 2-hour mark and the stream didn't crash. Of course, now that I've said it, it probably will, but it's nice to see that it didn't at the exact moment. That you can lock from the top. This is why I collect my fun sets. You never know until you experiment. Exactly. Exactly. It's why I love doing set drafts. Just get a bulk of some certain pieces. And on occasion, I will make a pick that no one else would make. Because it's some weird piece that no one wants to work with. But I do. I want to mess around with any unique piece I have not already done. Because you never know if said weird piece might just have the perfect use or make for the perfect detail later on. It might just be that one piece that really brings a whole design together. And it all started with some random piece that everyone thought was dumb and didn't make any sense. That armor part can somehow work in engine design. Yes, yeah. It's got enough mechanical looks to it that it will translate perfectly into the mechanical design, such as, like I said, an engine. You can make your car go vroom vroom using next to night armor. Or something beefier. It's a pretty beefy engine at that point. But having all those extra connections will just make it so much more valuable. So yeah, I definitely need to get that armor piece added. I don't remember if I have the mini bot shoulders added to my list. I definitely try to pick those up when I can, but I don't remember if I have it on the wish list. So I remember to buy them, actually. Because I find those to be fascinating pieces. Just a little curved tube that has two openings for bars. That's one of my favorites. It only came with those little mechs, little robots. Only the short fig got it. The rest has normal. Top two. Yeah, yep, those short legs. They get you that right height. It's funny how it all works out. I guess this just became a sorting stream. There were a lot more parts here than I realized. There are a lot harder to sort parts in here. So I think the Exoforce bridge stuff will be for next time on the Sunday stream. I'll also see how much more sorting I can do. I can already start to feel my throat itch a bit much and a bit difficult to talk. That's why I'm getting a little quiet here near the end. Not just running out of conversation points, but getting a little scratchy. Good amount of curve tiles in the set. That's nice. Plenty in black. Plenty in black. Even the villains, as I know of, have only top two, not the bottom 2x2. Yeah. Most of those neck brackets only had the two studs. That's why that one's so surprising that it's got all four. I think it has something to do with the way they did like the power packs the smaller minifigure sets that had all the accessories, because they wanted you to attach all the accessories to the back of the minifig. I think because of that, they really wanted to give plenty of connection points for you to attach all the accessories, which just left it with that awkward 2x2 on the back. Because I've definitely seen the 1x2 version plenty of times. Even the older version that had the Technic connections on the side, and then had the 1x2 tubes on the bottom of the Technic connection. I remember that one with the Power Miner sets with the Crystal King. You had that little drilling machine that just slapped onto the figure. But I also don't know if we've seen the neck bracket with the Technic pin. I don't know if that's still around. I liked that one a lot. It was very useful and very different compared to other neck brackets. But I guess there's now enough of a wide variety that I've lost track of all the special connection ones. Yeah, they try to experiment. They definitely got some newer molds. I know the Ninjago Crystallize has the dragon wings. Yes, yeah, those things are... I don't remember how the connection works on those, but those wings are so big that they had some different stuff going on. Has 2 pin connections on the back. Yep. And they've definitely done a lot of on and off with the different armaments. Like Chima would have the singular stud in the front, but it was on armor. And then there's definitely plenty of larger armor pieces that either have 1 stud or 2 stud connections. It all just varies depending on what the original intent was for the armor piece. Because some of those larger ones would have, or I guess the Chima ones are another great example. The ones they made for like the Eagles and the Ravens. Those would have the 1 stud on the front, but they'd have the 2 studs on the back for their wings. Yeah, the amount of times, yeah. Ninjago had a lot of armor pieces. Like I said, I collected a lot of those figs. So I do remember seeing how many, just how the sheer amount of armors they would come up with. It became too much when there were like 4 or 5 different variants of the scabbard, the part that would hold the sword, on the back of the armor. Because they went from such a simple design with the original Ninja hood having 1 clip to hold the sword by the handle. And then they immediately went to the shoulder pads with the double cross. And then they just kept going down the line of all different things in between. Like, they definitely came up with some cool designs, that's for sure. But there were just so many after a certain point. It's definitely insane. The dragon shoulder, yeah, and then they had the one that was just a dragon head on their shoulder. They just kept pumping them out. They would not stop. But I gotta stop for a drink. Yeah, I don't know what they're on now for Ninjago. There's just so much. Again, I had to get out of it before my head exploded. There's just too much. Someone else, like one of those bigger YouTubers, can just enjoy the glory of having every Ninjago fig. I'm fine with just my base collection of 10 years, calling it good, and just getting my time back to do other things, and money. Time and money. Because trying to keep up with every single set just to get every single minifigure was a bit much. It was a bit much. That's all now funds that can go straight into the MOCs. But I still love minifigures way too much. I am still buying certain sets just for the figs, even if they're not Ninjago. They definitely struck gold with Ninjago, that's for sure. Oh. Yeah, it just kind of became very tiring. But I think one thing that helped me get away from it is that there was a figure I did not get, which was Samukai. And now he goes for a lot. So as long as I don't pick him up, one of the more expensive figures, I'm not super inclined to catch back up and try to do more. I'm good with my array of repetitive red, blue, white, black over and over and over again. All those ninjas lined up. I may hide a Lego failed killer in a MOC. Is how you say it? Tenkia Knights brick figs. They transform into a 2x4 brick. One of the competitors. I did not hear of. Was it Tenkia? I always wondered what happened to things like I haven't heard about Creo in a long time. Creo had the Transformers licensing for a while. Tenkia. Yeah, I don't know that one. But there are so many smaller ones that go under the radar. And they always surprise me because there's quite a few out there that have much better quality than Lego. Both in terms of the plastic quality and the pricing. The problem is that you have a person like me who is a purist and pretty much sticks to the real brick or bust. We are loyal fans, and that's what makes us so awful. But it was a failed Ninjago killer, huh? They didn't make it well. Oh, okay. See, there's some knockoffs that are really bad quality, and there are some brick building systems that are up to snuff. Good competition with Lego. So it sounds like that one was not up to snuff. But somehow a 2x4 brick forms a minifig. That is interesting, though. I mean, I'm glad they took a different design approach, because Lego has kind of a stranglehold on the design of the figure, which is why a lot of people complain that they don't like other brands. But it's not other brands' fault that they legally cannot make the minifigure. That's on Lego trying to choke out competition. That's why I gotta look at the quality of the builds, competitor sets. Now, I'm not going to advocate and say people should go out and buy Mega Bloks, but if there's a set from another brand, maybe a theming, maybe just a cool build, then it doesn't always have to be Lego. It doesn't always have to be Lego. From the era of Cartoon Network. Interesting. I guess I haven't kept up with Cartoon Network. I did used to watch them quite a bit growing up, but I'm guessing, I don't think I've watched in like over a decade. So I'm certain there's plenty that I've missed, plenty that has changed. From the era of Cartoon Network has a dragon set, and you get both designs. Evil dragon or good dragon. You get each design. Ah. So kind of like how I mentioned the greatness of Creator 3-in-1. You get your options of good and evil. I will say, growing up on it, Mega Bloks dragon theme was pretty cool. I had a few of those sets, and those were, compared to Lego, they were much cooler at the time. But now there's so much you can do with Lego. I'm sure a theme like that no longer exists for Mega Bloks. Plus, there was always a fight between who had what licensing. For the longest time, Mega Bloks had the Ninja Turtles licensing, and then Lego picked it up. And then I don't know who has it now for building block toys. Same went with Pirates of the Caribbean. Same went with Marvel even. Marvel used to be Mega Bloks product. So it's things like that. It's just wild to see. Went from one company to the next. Heck, now we got Pokemon. Pokemon was Mega Bloks. Now it's Lego. Lego's just really good at doing that. Taking all of Mega Bloks themes. I guess they'll never take Halo. Lego doesn't want guns. Lego has a stronghold on the designs, especially around Yep. Nowadays, definitely, Lego can pull off dragons much better. I mean, even when Ninjago started, the art design for those original dragon head molds, the big rubbery ones, that was pretty good. That was good enough. Like, it was already, the stylization alone allowed them to shine a little brighter than the Mega Bloks ones. But those also came out like a full decade after Mega Bloks did their first dragons, or their major dragons. So just changing with the times. Just changing with the times. I didn't look too closely. I know Mega Bloks did a recent dragon for, is it Skyrim? I think they did the Skyrim dragon, one of them. And I heard good things about that one, but I didn't look close enough to see how it compares to Lego's current dragons. Obviously, it's a much darker and grittier design, but it still begs the question of how it compares in terms of dragon design. Now, if you want to make a dragon, have fun topping Lego. Now Lego will probably get Power Rangers license. Yes, that is the word that's buzzing around right now, is that they've acquired Power Rangers and we're probably going to get a set. But Mega had Power Rangers. I don't know if they still do. That does bring up a great point. That's another one. Another theme that Mega Bloks had that might possibly be Lego soon. Although I'm not a fan of Fortnite. I did hear about the Power Rangers crossover that just came out. So I would assume at least a toy company would want to capitalize on that right now. Whether that was Mega Bloks or Lego, I feel like we gotta see something soon because it seems like the perfect time to release a Power Rangers toy with the power of Fortnite marketing and cross promotion. Yeah, probably not anymore. I haven't heard of Mega Bloks or Mega doing anything with Power Rangers for a very, very long time. Yes, and if Lego does do a set, it will probably be just one set. It will probably just be the Megazord. I don't think we would get a full license theme. I'm not sure what nowadays would fully qualify for a full license theme. Obviously, we just got One Piece, but it does feel like a lot of these licensings that they're picking up can be summarized in one set. I guess Fortnite's another great example that has been a long-lasting theme. So we'll see. Like everything else, we will see. But like I said, with the theorized / rumored whatever with Power Rangers, if they do minifigures, I'm scared for my wallet. If they don't do minifigures, then I probably won't care, which will be great for my wallet. So it's a win-win. Power Rangers is kind of tough to do unless you pull strings. Yes. Yeah, there's been a lot of issues with the Power Rangers licensing in the last decade or two. Saban, under, was it Hasbro, has made it very difficult to do anything licensed with Power Rangers. There was a big controversy in the video game industry. Well, not super big. Not everyone knows about it. But one thing that I was disappointed by was there was an excellent or a very fun Power Rangers game that came out around 2016. I think it was on multiple consoles, but it was quickly maybe about a year or so in, it was taken down due to licensing issues. And Hasbro had them remove it from gaming storefronts. So the only people that could get it were people that owned it from the original release. And that really sucked, because I always wanted to pick it up myself. I guess play it on someone else's console. But I figure that with the Saban Power Rangers and whatnot, they are always kind of struggling with who owns the licensing and where the licensing's moving. So very sketchy and very uncertain on how Lego would acquire that and if they'd be able to do anything with it. But doesn't stop me from being optimistic. I don't think transformations would be hard, because we saw that with Voltron. They were able to pull that off pretty well. Like, it doesn't have to be a one-to-one transformation. It can just be enough to get the idea of what the creature was supposed to turn into. Once you hit that idea, you have already created a pretty successful product. So it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as I can tell, it's a pterodactyl on the back, you're good. T-Rex there, Stegosaurus there, even if it's very weirdly cubic. I don't think anyone would have an issue with that. People will just be happy that it has the function. Depending on which Megazord. I guess I don't know all the different designs of Megazords, but I figured if they're going to do a Power Ranger set, it's going to be the original Power Rangers, because you want to appeal to the most amount of people. It's the same way that if you're a fan of Pokemon, you're probably sick of Gen 1, but that's because more people know Gen 1 over anything else. It's the original stuff, so it's just the most recognizable for those kinds of brandings. Mighty is the first season. Yes, Mighty. Then there's the jungle one, there's the space one, and I don't know the names of any of them. But I was a fan, growing up. It was American Super Sentai, and it was cool. It was really, really cool. It's just dumb Saturday morning cartoon style action. And a lot of people enjoyed it, including myself. You would like Jungle Fury Megazord. So yeah, now I gotta go look up all the different design styles they had. Because like I said, I just remember the original. The one I grew up with. Didn't see any of the later ones. I probably should have, but just didn't. But I know there's plenty of people out there that are fans of all the different ones. But it's themes like that. I don't even know, I'm sure it still is, but is Power Ranger still going? I've heard about more recently they've done kind of crossover ones with different generations. But I also don't know if those are recent or not. It's kind of still going. Or is it just kind of still thriving off of name brand alone? people know Power Rangers and they like Power Rangers, so people still buy into Power Rangers. Power, power, power. Power Rangers. I won't lie, there is, I've put thought every once in a while for, I know Twitch has the little sound effects you can do for like subscribing and what else is there? Donating, different little things, different little chimes, sound effects. And I won't lie, there is one from a N64 game that I grew up with that I would consider using as one of the sound effects. It is from the N64 Power Rangers video game. And when you did something successful, there was just a group of monotone men that would yell, "Yay!" And I would love to use that sound effect. It's very obscure, but it's just so, it just comes off so dry, but still very cheerful, that it's funny, and it makes me laugh on the inside every time. It's so dumb, it's fun. It's one of those kind of things. So dumb, it's fun. That would definitely be one of the things I'd consider to use as a little sound effect on Twitch. Another one I'd really want to do is the old Mars Mission Flash game. I'd want to use the jingle from that, because I really like that song for like the 10 notes it has. Maybe it's a bit more than that, but still. It's definitely a core memory kind of thing. Which reminds me, I was given a link to a team that redid all the assets, and animations and everything for that Flash game, and then posted it online. So I definitely need to try that out sometime. It's baby's first StarCraft. That's how the gameplay goes. It's just so much more chill than trying to do 1,000 clicks a second on StarCraft. And it's Lego themed. It was a game, I think it's what truly inspired Lego to make Lego Battles, because it was the exact same concept, but Lego Battles was a DS game. They actually tried to monetize it. I don't know if it did well. I know there's some people that liked it. It was actually released late enough that one of the topics Lego Battles covered was the first year of Ninjago. So it's funny how all the timing works out. I guess if I ever get a DS emulator, I should try out that game. But who knows? Who knows? Don't even know when I'll ever get around to doing gaming on stream, if I'll even bother. definitely here just to focus on the Lego content. Even then, I still got kind of a slow start going here. I don't know how long I've had this, but I have 2 drawers for the same piece over here. One was just diagonal to the other. So I have no clue how long that's been there. I thought my storage was efficient. Here I am, failing at it. All right, I think I'm gonna do the rest of the sorting off stream and call it here. Thank you all for joining. Next time I will definitely start playing around with these orange pieces. Do some extra force stuff. I brought out the bridge to deconstruct, but I didn't have time for it. I kind of went probably about 40 minutes to an hour over what I was planning, but time flies when you're having fun, I guess. Something like that. Anyways, thank you all for joining. PG, thank you for being a great contributor to the stream and giving me plenty of things to talk about. I think I'm doing all right coming up with stuff on the fly every once in a while, but it definitely helps just to have some extra fire to the Kindle. And thank you to anyone else that might be joining later, viewing the recording, or if you popped in for the Instagram stuff. I don't even know if that one's working. Enough rambling. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening. Stay safe. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Work, damn it. Bye-bye. Goodbye. There it goes. Goodbye.